Oh, nice, smooth. Welcome to the Hat Chat Podcast, episode 34. I am Chris Trott.
Wow, I am Ross Hornby.
And I am Iron Man.
Not true.
No, I'm not. He's dead. He's fucking dead, isn't he?
Wow. I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. He is absolutely dead, canonically, and that's a major spoiler. So, I mean, you should have seen it by now. Should have seen it. It's your own fault.
I actually forgot that. I forgot that information, but it's now fresh in my.
It's a pretty major part.
Who was the finger by, Chris Trott?
The finger was by Daryl, aka Ditz, D-I-T-Z. Thank you for that finger.
Not really Ditz on stream right now, am I right?
That's right. That felt like almost like a rehearsed intro. It's like we've done it before or something. But anyway, we must be that professional. What are we going to talk about today,
It's a one and done, that's the thing.
It's a one and done.
There are a few things we can talk about, actually. There's a lot of gaming news recently, which we can dive into if you wish.
Wow.
Obviously, we are still under lockdown, which is actually, it's been graded down, guys. Did you hear that today? From
yes.
level 4 to level 3.
Level 3.
Which means
It has a really
spreading
spurious
less.
description, which is it is circulating within the population. Is what the classification
Oh,
is.
it's still very much present and killing
weird.
people. But we'll put it as a 3. it's fine.
Guys, the Southwest, we did the best. We did the best, the Southwest of England, for cases and spreading and everything. We win.
We won the
Are
title.
they handing out awards?
I think so.
I think
Yeah.
so.
We should put some statues up.
I hope it's going to be like that scene at the end of Star Wars, where Chewie doesn't get a medal. Though, he's just stood to the side. Okay.
And then I walk in, really
Consider you an
polished,
animal.
like C-3PO, like really shiny, slick.
Like you think somebody's
my
trying
God.
to fuck with you with like a screen on their phone or something. You're like,
He is clean.
Oh.
That's amazing.
Wow.
But yeah, well done, Southwest. We haven't managed
Well done.
to spread COVID horrifically. Although
We'll clap at
what
8
I've
PM for
seen
ourselves.
here, I'm surprised. I feel like we're treating it just as badly as everyone else in the country when you go outside and no one gives a shit. But there you go.
Yeah, they've said that obviously there will be the occasional flare-ups in certain areas, and they're going to just like lock down regions, which I don't have no idea how they're going to manage that.
No.
Yeah, we'll see. But
extreme force.
I guess it's a good
extreme
thing.
use
So,
of force.
Right.
extreme force, yeah, which I don't think they've really done in the past anyway, other than just handing out a couple of fines for people breaking the rules. But
Give it a
I
go.
don't know.
Give it a go.
It's hopeful.
Let's get some
It's
armed
working
police.
well in America, so
I think they've
Severe
forgotten about it
aggression.
in America.
New games.
New games
Runaway from
indeed.
the Police Sim is coming to a city near you.
Mhm.
No, Skate 4 came out. Well, not came out, has been announced. Bizarrely, at a very similar time to Tony Hawk's remakes. What's going on there?
Yeah,
Going on
that's very interesting. Because
well, I
I'm
assume
guessing
the
like-
talks must go on, like, to the point where they can announce that it's happening must mean that they've committed a budget, right? And they know exactly
Yeah.
what's happening. So it must have been like 6 or 7 months ago at the least when they said, we're going to make Skate 4. And then they must have also known that the Tony Hawk's remaster was also happening way back then. So is there just a lot of spies in each other's companies or
I
something?
don't think
or?
they're worried. I can't imagine they're worried about a remaster versus a new,
But it's
chapter.
it's interesting they came out at such close times together, though. Like people have been asking for a new skate game for years and years and years. Same with Tony Hawk's, and lo and behold, 3 months after Tony Hawk's, well, that's less than that. It's got to be like a couple of months since the Tony Hawk's announcement. There's now a Skate 4 announcement,
Yeah.
which is interesting.
Well, true.
But
I mean,
yeah,
it's more of a case of, I guess, Skate was trending when Tony Hawk's was trending because everyone was like, well, where's Skate? And so now they can be like, well, fuck it. Yeah, we are actually going to start working on it. Apparently, it's very early stages, though. So I don't know how long it's going to be.
I don't like announcements that are really, really early. Like, why do they feel like they need to announce it now? They feel pressured by the Tony Hawk remaster to say, like, we're doing one. We're doing Skate 4.
Dangling the carrot. Yeah, I don't know.
Don't know.
Do you think EA would ever postpone a release? Because you see how Cyberpunk's been pushed back again because they said it's pretty much done, but they're not happy with the amount of bugs and stuff, so they're going to push back, which is totally fine. Obviously, I would love to play that game as soon as possible, but if you're pushing it back for good reasons, sure. Like, I could totally never see EA doing that to like a title, like as much as
it's going out.
CD Projekt Red has pushed back Cyberpunk, because there's the new Star Wars Squadrons game, which has also been announced by EA, which I will 100% play, and I 100% hope is a good game. Like, because 5v5 cockpit-based shooting amongst like fleets and stuff and asteroids, that sounds really cool, and it doesn't need to be that complicated to be good. It can just be okay and
it's
still
just
be
got
a
to
good
feel
game.
good. Yeah, the core
It has
mechanics
VR
need to be.
capabilities as well, which is great.
Yeah. That's what
And,
I've got nostalgia for that sort of game, like X-Wing, TIE Fighter, those games back in the day on CD-ROM. Were really, really fun, even though I barely knew and understood how to play games when I was that young. But I just remember it being cool. And it's like, oh, it's a Star Wars game. Obviously, that I'm jaded as fuck now, and I'm 32. But it's rekindled a little bit seeing that kind of footage. So yeah, having it in VR is like, that's the next thing. I think it's like making it exciting.
Also, I played Battlefront 2 quite a lot in the last sort of 6 months, because I don't really have a pick up and play shooter that I play at the moment. Like, it's either like really involved shooters, like like Hell Let Loose, like Squad, like Escape from Tarkov, or nothing at all. And Battlefront 2 became this kind of like game that I just jump into, and like it's really fun. Like it is like it's genuinely an enjoyable game. There's a ton of like classes and types now. You can be like the rolling robots from the Phantom Menace with
cool.
I can't remember how they're called, with the bubble shields. Like, it's really good, and like, yeah, it's a little bit shallow, and yeah, you only play it for a couple of hours and you're like, okay, I'm kind of like done for tonight on this. But the cinematic element of it is better than any game I've played. It, like like the whizzing of bolts and the sounds and
It always
the
looked and sounded great.
it's really, really good in Battlefront 2. So I'm hoping that they can take the successes of that game, which again, I feel like Battlefront 2 has finally got to a point where it's like, it's fun. It's fine. It's not, it's not.
When was that
it's
released
not gonna
originally?
have a professional esports scene.
That's a good point.
Like, must have been 2 years ago
2015?
now. No, well, because there was Battlefront. No, because it's Battlefront 2, so it's a sequel to that one you're thinking of. This is the one that had the single player where you played the
2017.
Imperial person.
November.
Right, okay, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I hope it will be like Battlefront 2 in how that ended up in the end. Just fun.
Well, they had flight in that, didn't they? They had literally space battle maps. So I think they're obviously taking that to the next level. And that
I
felt
think the
tacked on.
I think the engine limited that mode a bit. Yeah. No, like you say, it felt a bit tacked on. It was cool, but it felt like a mini game more than like there was something about it. There was kind of like a disconnect or something when you played the vehicle mode in that game.
It felt like you're flying little toys, like a remote control plane, rather than the real deal. Because of the way you look at it.
On the craft were really weird. Like, it was very
floaty.
Like, it was very linear. It didn't feel
super
agile or like.
But looking forward to that Squadron. That should be fun. I'm sure we'll play it. Loads of different types of games coming out. Obviously, EA did their EA Live, which is why there's a lot of EA talk right now with Skate and the Battle Squadrons with Star Wars. But also, Last of Us 2's out today as the recording of this Hat Chat. It's out now, which is exciting.
Wow.
No spoilers.
That's a pretty big deal. That's a pretty big deal. Like, there are certain games out there. Like, for me, Red Dead Redemption 2 was one of those. Like, in terms of, you can tell that they're a big deal. It's like a game that's been in development for a long, long time. Like, I think Cyberpunk will be the same. It's the next game after The Witcher 3 that CD Projekt Red have really focused on. Like, it's really exciting when games like that come out. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't know if I'll play that game today, The Last of Us, but it is pretty cool.
Have you ever played
those big releases
at all?
Yeah, I played a little bit of the first one, but not very much.
But, I watched like a refresher thing.
I appreciate it.
Same.
Trott was saying this,
just to keep up to date on it.
Yeah,
I didn't
don't know how
actually
much
play the DLC, which was like a side story thing.
Left Behind, yeah. So Last of Us, there's like a YouTube video you can watch where they literally just play the whole game, but it's only the dialogue and important cutscenes. So you literally skip all the combat moments, the set pieces, and any bits where there is gameplay and they're talking to each other, they include that. It's really well done. And I just watched that to refresh myself, because like I started playing it and I thought, I don't really want to invest 30 hours again into basically an interactive movie. And it's really well done, don't get me wrong. The gameplay's, I think, is pretty good. A lot of people don't particularly like it. I thought it was super well done.
That's the one thing I'm anxious about, whether it's going to be fiddly, because I remember aiming and it was not that fun. But that's maybe it's the controller. I'm not used to it as much.
It's third person, and it's more like chunky. It feels like GTA 5 style, where it's like you have to heft things around, and you've got a physical body rather than like a Twitch shooter, which is like instant action. But I really like the atmosphere and the presentation of Naughty Dog games, particularly since like Uncharted 2 onwards. Big fan of the way they do things. The very narrative focused Last of Us. It's like narrative first, I feel, almost before gameplay. Like, I don't need to play it necessarily.
You say that, like, absolutely the narrative is a huge part of The Last of Us, but I think the combat and the inventory management and all that stuff is actually pretty good as well. Like, absolutely. Like you say, it is probably, you gotta like the story, but equally, like, when I remember watching, I think you, Trott, playing it ages ago, probably back in Filton. And like, I don't know, it was one of the first games, not one of the, I mean, that's probably hyperbolic. But you know how like you carry everything on your back and like you can see what you've got. It's like, right, I mean, if I want to carry that rifle's going to be on my shoulder. Like, you know, like it felt a bit more like
these things.
Yeah, I like that.
It's super streamlined. They did a lot of like new things, like compare Metal Gear Solid to say this game. Very similar, where it's like stealth based. You got to sneak around. You got to micromanage your inventory, but you spend half the time in the little fucking menu where it goes bloop, bloop, weep, 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 all the time. Whereas with this one, with Last of Us, you put your bag down as an animation, and then if you want to craft something, it's just like 3 different things. That's it. Craft a shiv, craft a bomb, craft something else. Boom, it's back on your back, and then you can immediately go on. And then if you want to upgrade stuff, you have to go to a tool bench. Yeah, it's all just very like immersive, I guess, in that way, which is what I really appreciate. The other thing I really appreciate is the animators, because holy shit, there's no facial capture, motion capture at all. What they do is they film the motion capture as well, their faces, like with cinematic cameras, and they hand animate their faces, like frame by
even
frame.
In the second one.
Even in this one, I believe is true. They definitely
I've seen
did
a load
Uncharted
of
4.
photos of like the actors with like dots on their faces and stuff from doing mocap.
Okay, so there might be more reference stuff, because I know in at least Last of Us and Uncharted 4, they literally took video footage, and just had it on a second monitor and hand animated their faces, because to get real nuance, and also like that exaggerated kind of animated feel, which kind of feels more like I don't know, like a authentically animated movie. If that makes sense, rather than like the facial animation that look robotic.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Wouldn't they use it as a basis almost, and then I guess tweak it?
Yeah.
God, I don't know.
Yeah.
Didn't really pick up much from Andy Serkis's little studio.
I think without like
I was too busy acting like an ape.
I think without like having Disney technology, which is what they're doing for facial capture, with like a camera on their face, and then they get like that feed, and also like all the dots and stuff. It's hard to make it look human. You have to add in that extra layer of animation to all those little tiny micro movements, which current technology, unless you're at Disney, doesn't have. So I think that's why they did that. And I mean, it sells it to me. Uncharted 4 is like one of the best animated games out there, I think. It's so good.
Yeah, I've not played
Though Red Dead's good too.
Because it was on PS Plus recently, so.
Yeah.
I really appreciated Red Dead. I really appreciated Red Dead's like artistic style. Like okay, it's not like an indie game level of like really out there artistic style, but like the attention to detail, and I'm kind of hoping that happens with Cyberpunk as well. There's just people crafting. I mean, it sounds like a E3 presentation, but like creating
craft.
world. Yeah, like creating a world that's so like watertight in terms of its reality, and that like you'll look at something and you'll notice a detail and you're like, fuck, why do they even bother putting that in there? And you're like, oh, that's cool. like I was
but those tiny details make it so much more
when I saw the
immersive.
light going through the ears of in Red Dead when the shape
Subsurface scattering,
and I was like, holy shit, that makes it look so much more real. That's crazy.
and it's those subconscious things that they've added and thought about, which is what I appreciate. And which is why everyone fucking enjoys watching the Lord of the Rings documentaries, making ofs, sometimes more than the films themselves, because of the sheer effort and the force behind it. It's almost as entertaining to see all come together as the output itself.
You brought up Lord of the Rings there, Trott.
Huh?
Interesting you brought up Lord of the Rings there.
Why is that?
Bilbo Baggins has died, mate.
Ah, fuck.
Bilbo.
Shit. Not Ian Holm.
Died today.
Ian Holm. He was also in Alien, wasn't he? He was in loads of things, to be fair.
He's in a lot of things. R.I.P. Ian Holm. Awful. What a legacy, though.
You never would have guessed from like. I mean, maybe they used like de-aging on him in the Hobbit's films, but like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he didn't look that old. But there we go.
They applied like aging makeup to him in the first Lord of the Rings, right? When he was really, really old, when he came back. But like when he was in the first scenes, that was just Ian Holm, right?
What a head fuck.
Yeah.
Right, we're gonna have to age him in the first set of films, then we're gonna de-age him in the second. So
yeah.
25 years have passed in the real world, but only 5 have passed in the films. Oh God. Okay.
That's what messed me up about Star Wars. Was the OG trilogy had Palpatine in it, really old, and then they did the prequels like way later, like decades later. Same actor. I was like, he must be dead. No, it's him. And then they got him in the new trilogy as well.
Came back again.
Yeah. It's like,
wow,
Christ.
you got him back again.
This guy, he must be hundreds of years old. It just really throws the timelines on these things, throw me off with all the makeup and shit.
Yeah. Well, they couldn't have Snoke in the whole trilogy.
No. Let's not get into ranting about Star Wars, because we could be here for hours about the it. But yeah, exciting times apart from Ian Holm dying. Lots of new stuff coming out. PS5, we haven't even talked about the whole new console.
Talk about PS5, that's just. I've heard your opinions before, but you may as well repeat them here. Your opinions on the PS5 and the way it looks. Obviously, it looks, to describe it, is almost like, so it's like wearing a white jacket which has been unzipped and then opened at the top, which is
revealing a
turtleneck. Where the vents are, and they've made 2 versions of it, one with a disc, one without, and the one with the disc is chunkier and not symmetrical.
An ugly version and then an uglier version with a disc drive. Yeah.
Smith doesn't like it.
They'll punish you if the digital version is cheaper. They'll punish you when you go to buy the fucking £20 more expensive digital version. So they fuck you in the store anyway. So it's just like, I don't get why you would bother going for that straight away unless they change that system.
I prefer.
This one is.
Look at this. Hold on, I'll send it to Trott. Trott, if I send you a message on Steam, so you can share the image on the screen, is that cool?
You can use the vMix call as well. That's you can.
Oh yeah, okay.
Very fancy.
Message on the vMix. Let's do that. Wait, where is
the future?
Hide chat.
But it basically looks like an Alienware tower, doesn't it? It's massive. It's like 1.5 times the size of an Xbox One X, height-wise. So it looks pretty chunky. It's a chunky boy. But essentially, they're kind of. It's almost like consoles are essentially morphing into PCs anyway. Not obviously they were a former PC, but
the last generation
in terms of what they're trying to achieve.
Yeah,
what they're trying to achieve graphically and with ray tracing and all this other stuff, like it's going to need to be chunky.
What am I looking at here?
And keep it
describe it to our audience.
The first one, the first link I sent you is a render for PS5, which I think is nuts, but always looks better. The first render I sent you is basically looks like a radio, one of those like radio alarms that you hit on the side of your bed.
It's an old school radio alarm. Yeah.
Why is there?
Or like a very tiny scaled model of like some sort of Star Wars ship.
It's awful.
Yeah.
If you think
I don't like it.
You can put your coffee in that little groove and it'll keep it warm for you.
That's a good point, actually. That's a nice little heater, a recess there. I like that.
And the drink can act as a heat sink as well, you know.
If you put a couple of propulsion jets on where it says PS5 and Let's Go Digital, just enter that into the Star Wars universe, and then you're sorted.
Apparently, this is a PS5 dev kit
that
has been photoshopped black.
Right, okay, it's a dev kit.
So that is. You remember we've seen some dev kits in the past. Remember, like the Wii dev kit.
The Wii one was horrible.
The Wii one looked like a box from the 80s.
Yeah.
It was like this kind of beige metal, like around this kind of. It was a box, obviously, essentially, but it had loads of dials on it, which looked like it was plucked straight from like 80s tech.
Yeah, just Google Wii dev kit.
Just ports.
Okay.
VGA ports on the back.
Yeah, it was the original. Oh yeah.
If that is a dev kit for the PS5, it looks a lot more finished.
It was literally just like an old school computer case. So here we go.
Yeah, dev kits are really interesting. Like in terms of, they're kind of cool. Like I find them quite interesting. I could see myself collecting dev kits. Like,
look at it.
Well, in some cases, we can't help it. I think we were sent like PS4 dev kits a while ago. This never asked for them back, and we were like, oh, we can't even use normal games on this.
For me, dev kits are kind of cool because they are what I want in a console, which is just pure inputs and outputs. Like, and that's what I kind of like about the Xbox One X or Series X or whatever fucking awful naming convention that they've come up with this time.
Is it Series
That's
X
what I like about
now?
the Xbox.
No.
It's Xbox Series X now. So
Xbox
bad.
Series
X, well done. Whoever fucking said that was fine, you're an idiot. Xbox Series
naming
X,
these things.
It's really bad.
It's the dumbest shit in the world, and it's just a symptom of nobody telling people things are bad ideas within company structures because we're all sycophants. But Xbox Series X is cool. I like the square, simple shape because ultimately it's this small, understated box that has inputs and outputs. So the output is I want to see my cool game. The input is I want a controller to connect as simply as possible to a console, and then I want to play the game because ultimately you're not playing the console, you're playing whatever's on the TV screen, right? So like that for me is my I get why people might enjoy the PS5. If you're looking for something that's interesting to sit next to your TV or whatever, if you're looking for something that will clash with literally anything you'll buy in IKEA, or if you're looking for something that looks like a larger, louder, hotter version of your BT Home Hub, the PS5 is going to be a great option.
I like it.
The thing is, I think that's the struggle. The struggle is they don't want it to look like a PC tower. And obviously, you're a PC fan. You've only ever really had PCs. You've not really been a console fanatic in any sense. And I can appreciate that. Yeah, it's a simple, easy-looking box that does what you want it to do. Simple. Whereas a console, I feel like they want it to be different and stand out in its own way. And I think a simple box doesn't necessarily tick those boxes, really.
For sure.
So yeah, I think it's an interesting design. I don't think it will change my opinion of what games I play on it necessarily. But yeah, it does look a bit chunky for the lounge.
I hope the controller's good because I really, really like the PS4 controller, and I'm worried that that's going to more towards an Xbox chunkier boy.
It is chunkier, isn't it? It's a slight change to the size.
Yeah, I mean,
but it looks a little bit more ergonomic because I actually prefer the Xbox shape for my hands personally.
Yeah. Okay.
I prefer Xbox personally as well.
That looks cool.
Each to their own, but you're both wrong, so that's strange. But
okay.
I mean, ultimately, I think it's going to come down to because like originally when they were talking about the new Xboxes after, for example, Xbox 360, they were like, oh, they're going to be able to play Blu-rays, they're going to be able to do this, going to do that, and then it turns out that like Blu-ray functionality was limited in certain consoles. Like certain, I can't remember, what was it? The original PS3 didn't support it, whilst Xbox One did, I think, or something like that, or the other way around. But
PS3 supported Blu-ray from the start, I think.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So Xbox had HD, PS3 had Blu-ray. Like for me, it's those kind of features.
Xbox had HD DVD.
Which one I use the most?
Yeah.
Xbox had HD DVD. I remember selling them when I worked at Curry's years and years and years ago, and you had to buy like a HD DVD add-on.
Oh yeah.
Get like a separate drive.
Oh.
And then you obviously have to buy a load of HD DVDs, and obviously now it seems almost stupid to buy any form of physical media when 4K is just streamed on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
So like to think that you're going to be going out there buying Blu-rays and stuff, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something of the past now.
There's a lot of things like that. Like it's a little bit like hybrids right now. I think hybrids, like as in cars, I think that hybrids will probably last a lot longer than like I still think we're going to probably be using plug-in hybrids for the next like 5 to 10 years, but there's always these transitional technologies between everything, and it's like you're right. Like as soon as everybody has the internet, as soon as everybody has the internet to a high enough speed, yeah, totally. Like services like OnLive will make complete sense. It's just that you can see that eventually we're going to get there, but like right now we're not.
Yeah.
So like I don't know, finding that middle ground. I think I really like my Xbox One X. I really genuinely do. The UI, the home UI is pretty shitty. I will say that. Like navigating around, like finding your games on your Xbox is actually quite a difficult task. It's like they're not just there. You've got to go to like my own game.
Just whether the way we set it up or something, because I have the same where it's just like I'll open it up and then I have to go through several of the menus to get to the games I want. I was like, who designed this? Is it a case of user error? Maybe it is. I have no idea, but surely it should be easier than that for anyone. Switch on a console and it's all your stuff's there. Whereas on the PlayStation, it's just there. It's just there. You can enjoy it.
It's like there's a little folder that's like if you want TV and video, Netflix and shit, it's right there. Otherwise, here's all your games next to it that you've been playing recently. Oh, and there's your library at the end. It's simple. They tried to overcomplicate it and make it like a media center, and tried to make it all smart and sophisticated looking. Yeah. Ended up being just a mess, really. And I really don't like the 2D aesthetic, like block color thing. Yeah. I just don't like it. So like corporate.
It just reminds me of Windows Phone.
It's just so devoid of life.
It needs to be a bit more fun.
Yeah, it's not fun. That's right. It's not meant to be a games console.
On the other end of the spectrum, the PlayStation like UI is like freaking just a bit edgelordy, isn't it? Like with like
I don't think so.
It feels like
What do you mean? It's slow. I'll tell you
it feels like the guy who developed Metal Gear Solid's UI also designed it. What was that? Sorry.
Oh, I just said that it's quite a slow UI, and also just like getting into like the store and stuff is
the store's weirdly slow
sometimes. I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure if that's me, but Jesus, it should be easy to buy things in a console. But yeah, I mean, the PS5 also looks a little bit like it's almost got a similar style to the Xbox 360. In terms of like that was quite a funky looking design.
The blades,
the original one, like the white one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Obviously they changed it a couple times. Oh yeah,
that's the sound of the blades. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that?
Amazing. And weirdly enough,
I mean,
the original Xbox 360
one's better than that.
Yeah. It looks remarkably like the new PS5. I don't know why it's cut off, but there you go.
Look at that sexy console.
Oh yeah.
But as these
fantastic.
more into PCs and stuff in general, like I'm finding myself not really wanting one desperately, just because most of the games will be available for PC. Sure, there'll be some exclusives, and that's probably where it's mainly worthwhile. And hopefully, there are some really good ones. But otherwise, I'm not that eager to get anything beyond the PS4 I've already got or whatever. Like, obviously, if I can get one, sure, I'll give it a try. But there's nothing that's really pulling me in. I don't know about you guys, especially when they announced it, like with the games that they offered, like Abe's Odyssey and whatever else they mentioned.
Yeah, I mean,
he's demonstrating the Xbox 360.
Look at this UI. Anything that requires precision. You want to do on a mouse and keyboard. And I play a lot of games that require some form of precision. I think sometimes I like playing on my console. Like Red Dead, I found totally fine on console.
Yes,
I felt like I didn't need the mouse to like... and that was nice to be able to... Because this seat, again, I don't know what's wrong with me. Well, I do know what's wrong with me, but like sitting on a sofa, like reclining on a sofa playing a game is pretty comfortable in comparison to like sitting at a desk.
It's way more cozy, and I feel like off put by like I could go to that other room, the clinical off. It's probably my own fault, but like sitting at a desk,
clinical, boring. I hate this place.
Sitting at a desk and playing games isn't like the loungy experience that I want with a controller like playing Last of Us 2. Like, I want to have it atmospheric and stuff, and I want to have snacks nearby.
It's
and
very
like,
game dependent, definitely.
Yeah.
Because like you say, Last of Us 2, I could probably enjoy on a sofa, but like I've tried playing like something like Warzone on a console, and I just hate it in comparison to playing on a PC. I just can't stand it. Like, I don't know how people play it like that. I used to play
You used to.
COD like that, and I just don't know how I used to do that because I can't do it now. But yeah, I appreciate that because I do like the casual nature of just chilling out and playing games in the lounge or whatever.
Yeah.
You see, they've announced Crash 4 as well today. I've never really been that into Crash Bandicoots. I don't know about you.
Oh, not
I
since
played like
remastered.
the first one.
It was part of my childhood a little bit, but no, I was never like a completionist. I'm not one of these people that's like, Crash Bandicoot changed my life or defines me. Which of course there are many people like that.
Quite quickly.
Every day. Yeah, same. Big time. Yeah, for me that's not my kind of game at all, personally.
Oh, it got leaked rather than like announced. Someone leaked it. It's about time. Okay.
But I mean, the
interesting.
PS5's just around the corner. I mean, it says PS4 on there, so I'm sure they'll be transitioning. It's always quite awkward when they transition between PS4, PS5, like when games are announced stuff. Because obviously, Last of Us 2 just came out today, but the PS5's what 3 or 4 months away.
Thing is,
probably
though,
November.
Not everyone buys a whole new console on release, and most people can't afford to do such a thing.
Most people don't.
That's why I'm curious why they don't release the games on the day that they with the consoles, because they would. If Last of Us 2 came out with PS5, their sales would probably be pretty big, right? Same with Cyberpunk. If that's going to be on multiple consoles.
Well, like an exclusive on
considering
console.
Last of Us 2 is an exclusive. Yeah.
I think that they would probably love to do that, but people like Naughty Dog wouldn't want to limit their sales to only people buying consoles.
Yeah, bigger market.
And I think that's the only way you do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right.
Make a remaster.
That would be
It's way more profitable to do a remaster.
Are you guys excited for GTA 5 again? New console.
Oh,
GTA
God.
5 once more.
I hate the Rockstar model. It sucks. Like, we can all see
it started with that on the PS5.
To be fair, it's also the Skyrim model. It's also the Bethesda model.
Yeah, I hate that too. But at the same time, we need to stop buying this shit. Like, everyone don't buy it on PS5. Teach Rockstar a lesson that they can't just keep regurgitating the same game.
They don't care if people don't buy it on PS5. They don't care. Like, they've already made so much money.
Well, it's free, isn't it? So it's like the GTA Online.
The model they're making is GTA Online is going to be a separate thing on its own.
Yeah.
And that's going to be free to play, is it? Is that the aim? Like you said?
Is it going to be full of hackers?
With shark cards, though.
But this thing, like, every time we play it now, it's full of hackers. It's not that fun unless you have to make your own fun now, I find. And the game is, 7 years old? I don't know. Seeing that Kickstart PS5 announcement wasn't exciting. 2013, yeah. Like, seeing that Kickstart wasn't exciting. If anything, it was quite disappointing because it's like, well, what are you working on? Are you working on the next thing? Is this just going to be the cycle now? Like, we're just going to see endless reiterations of GTA 5?
Well, it's like
even like GTA 4 had a DLC for story. The Ballad of Gay Tony.
Yeah. There's not been any single player DLC for GTA 5 at all. It's all been GTA Online, new vehicle unlocks, or a new heist, which is the only good thing, really, I think, that they're releasing. Sure, it's fun to play with all these new toys. But
I mean, they do like, you can own a nightclub, and then that does have quests and stuff attached to it. Like there were some elements of it. But I think the thing for me, like, moving away from GTA, because I mean, yes, we've become so sad with GTA and remakes and stuff. It's because GTA is such a great game as well. You got to remember that, like,
that's it. True.
It's an amazing game. But like, for me, what I'm most excited about now, and I think what's excited me more than any of the recent game developer stuff, is the Unreal Engine stuff that we saw recently. Like, visual fidelity for me is probably one of the, and that's why I've kind of always been a PC gamer, and it's why I am kind of interested in new consoles, because I appreciate that there's this lovely sweet spot between, they know exactly what game developers know exactly what hardware they're working with, so they can do lots of interesting tricks and make things look really good for that specific environment, and make it run well. Which is evident in if you look at playing Red Dead on an Xbox One X in 4K versus on a PC, the PC version runs a lot worse because it's not as optimized. But anyway, the Unreal update is basically all the new technologies and all the clever bits of math and all that sort of stuff that Unreal are creating for game makers and for Unreal and for Epic and all the games that get made on that to use. And it is amazing. And as Trott is showing right now on the stream, you could be watching if you weren't listening like a plebe. The lighting, the amount of texture, like the details on the textures and all this sort of stuff, the interactions with the light on objects, like that for me is what I'm always most excited about. And like, whilst RPGs and things like that classic thing in Elder Scrolls where they do the reveal, so for example in Skyrim when you left that cave and it opened up and it showed you the world you're going to be playing with, that is an awesome moment in games for me, and I love that about Elder Scrolls. They did that in I think Oblivion as well.
You can go anywhere. This is showing the amount of polygons, which may not come up very well.
And so with looking at an engine like this, apply this engine to that feeling of reveal of you have this whole world laid out before you. That for me is what I'm about, and that's why why I play computer games, because I want to see these amazing things in the highest possible fidelity, because one day we're going to be in this, and we're not going to be out here, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
can it come sooner, please?
You'll often get some people who say it's not all about graphics and stuff, and I agree. Yeah, like some games you don't need crazy graphics. I mean, look at Minecraft, but it does help. Like there are certain enhancements that you just really enjoy it so much more. Like Modern Warfare looks amazing, and playing that is so much more enjoyable because of that, and it's smoother, and so I'm looking forward to the next iteration of that. Like you say, PS5, I think Xbox Series X, etc. will be pushing the boundaries, which helps PC as well, which is great.
The thing is, with an engine, there's no demand to go to this level of fidelity. It's just the fact that you've got that option to, and it allows games that rely heavily on that realism element, and for you to not break your immersion when there's like a random T-pose or someone clipping through an environment, or a smeared texture because they ran out of texture budget, or the engine needs to be optimized in some way.
There was a lot of that in Final Fantasy, wasn't there?
A lot of that.
Smeared textures and stuff. Yeah.
If the engine is solid and you can throw, like for example, like Smith was saying, super high detailed polygon count stuff, rather than doing tricks where it's like, we're going to like paint the texture on it to look like it's got loads of different like ripples and rocks on it. Now you actually have that true 3D depth. So if one guy walks up to the rock and looks at the side of it, it's not just a smooth single plane. It's actually got bumps and stuff on it. And that just adds to your immersion, I think, overall. You notice the flaws faster than you appreciate the good work done. So
the detail.
But did they also say it was easier in terms of like photographing areas or scanning areas?
Photogrammetry.
The engine helps them compress it better.
Well, it's got some sort of process in it which allows you to basically throw any 3D object. Before, you had to do a whole other stage called retropology, I think it's called, something like that, where you basically recreate the whole asset from a super high quality one that you made in ZBrush, which has got billions of polygons. Amazing. It's like basically making a clay sculpture with all the detail you could ever want. And it's like, okay, but our engine won't run at higher than 2 FPS if we put that asset in the game. So there's a whole other process where you have to optimize the mesh, make sure there's way less polygons on it, and then do work with the texture to make sure the texture image is smaller and reuse it in other assets, that sort of thing. Here they basically saying, do photogrammetry, which is like take actual 3D geographic data in the real world, get super high quality images, and then just dump it into the game engine. The game engine will automatically make the tessellation, I think. So the closer it is to the camera, the more detail it's going to show, and then when it gets further away from the camera, it's going to automatically become a low.
Those fucking bugs. Those bugs, man.
Yeah.
But it comes into play with lighting as well. They're doing a lot on display here with lighting, which is like, there's so many tricks that you have to adopt in order to make lighting look cool, and it's called baking in, which is like shadows are permanently put in place, but this is all done in real time. So if there is a hole in the ceiling and there's crumbling particles, go on.
I was saying this is the bit where they're what you were just talking about, where those models are like billions of polygons or whatever, and they're able to have them rendered and lightable and everything through some sort of clever tech.
It's pretty smart to like get it running this smoothly. Is impossible with current engines. So pretty exciting, but also I can imagine it being an absolute terrifying prospect for games companies, saying like, this is the level of detail we need to put in our games now. Everything has to be this high quality. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of work.
I think I was talking to both of you or one of you about this, or somebody else. Like, this is, I think, a signifier of how things will go in terms of, I think this is Epic's play to get people to build things on their platform, sell things on their platform, play things on their platform, right? So yeah, you're right. If a person, so Unreal Engine is available to anyone, regardless of if you're signed up for Epic or not. But there could be really easy ways of, is it free to everyone, Trot, or is it free if you're not using it for commercial purposes?
It's free.
Yeah.
Wait,
it's commission based on after earning a certain amount of revenue.
After £1 million.
So it's free up until a certain point. And then they take a cut.
So they develop these tools and they say, hey, you know what? Yeah, you use these tools and release on the Epic launcher, then we'll give you a 20% cut in the fee that you're going to be paying for every time you sell a game. There's loads of ways that they could make sure everybody goes onto their platform. It also means that you don't get so many incidences of what you're talking about, where a new developer or a developer that's usually used previous tools is switching to this and they're overwhelmed by it. I think we're going to get these, like, because Valve did that, right? Like, a bunch of things that made Steam so successful, Counter-Strike, Half-Life, Team Fortress, Dota, they're all based on Valve technology. They're all based on, what's the engine?
Steam.
I can't even remember.
Source.
Is it just called Steam Engine now? Source, there we go.
Source, yeah.
And that's how they springboarded a lot of their Steam. Like, if you wanted to play Counter-Strike back in the day, you had to install Steam. And I think that, like, this new Unreal Engine and Epic making a push, giving out loads of free games over the last year and a half, is a signifier that they're trying to make themselves into Steam. And I think they could succeed, because I think Steam has languished quite a lot. I think Valve has languished quite a lot in their success.
I don't know many games that use the Source engine, to be honest.
Not anymore. No.
Gmod.
But yeah,
like Gmod.
But I feel like it's all internal. I don't think Valve leases it out to any companies. Do they? I might be wrong. But what uses the Source engine? Oh, Apex is Source. I didn't know that.
No.
So
Apex, really?
Apex.
It's just
Apex
not
looks great and runs great.
It's just not as well marketed, I guess. Like, everyone knows about the Unreal Engine, right? But Source engine, I didn't know, for example, was available to be used by other companies. Fair enough. Epic is winning in the marketing department, at least to me. And like you say,
especially
with
the way they're
their
giving
own,
away like big titles as well.
It's pretty, yeah. I mean, the launch is awful. They got a lot of work to do with their launcher.
Bad Uplay.
Well,
Epic's launcher is not as bad as Uplay. Origin is a kind of a pain in the ass to use as well. Anyone use Origin recently? Like,
I'd rather not.
Yeah, that's...
What is it?
I've had to download like the same game 4 times on there sometimes.
Yeah.
On Origin.
Yeah, on Origin. Origin's just a bit janky.
It is.
Yeah.
They're all janky. They all take ages to launch, and Steam's okay, but it's now excessively convoluted in the fact that anyone can submit any old trash on there, and you don't really. And they're using algorithms now to determine what you should be and shouldn't be seeing on the marketplace. And I get it. There's so much there that it needs that kind of filtration done for you, but there's just overwhelming now. The library's good though.
So
I think
good if
Steam
someone
still
makes
wins.
a multi-launcher launcher. So you just have one launcher that just signs.
That's
into
that's
everything at once.
happening.
You can select your games in a clean way.
GOG is doing
it. Is it?
Yeah. So
it makes sense. Just
CD,
like create your own like Netflix of game. To a degree.
I mean, GOG Galaxy is literally working on that. Their next version is amalgamating all the launcher games into one, so you launch from one. However, I'm worried that we've already seen that. We've seen like Uplay games in Steam, and then you click to play that game, and it launches the Uplay launcher. So I don't know how good it's going to be to bypass all that. Probably not.
Well, there are similar apps for like Netflix, iPlayer, all that other stuff in one place. But yeah, like I think Apple TV tries to do it, where then you'll click on it and then bam, another thing comes into the screen and loads up, and it's a bit frustrating. But
yeah,
I don't know. Considering all these game companies want to create their own launchers, it seems like having them in one place would still be more convenient.
Yeah, but everyone wants their own piece of the pie. It's like cable. It's the same things happening with the games industry, where everyone wants their own like platform to release their exclusive games on, much like the console wars. They all want their piece of the market and don't want to share it with anyone else. So fun times.
Yeah. What is someone put Roomba on here? What's the
me.
reason behind that?
I got a Roomba.
You got a little a little Hoover.
Little Hoover.
Little sucky
Well,
boy.
Hoover's different bread. Got a vacuum cleaner that's a robot. I just wanted to talk about it because it's exciting.
Like, I mean, I don't think I've ever used one.
Is it wandering around at the moment? Is it sucking up your detritus at the moment?
Yeah, so I got the one, not the latest model, the one before, and it's got a little podium stand, which it goes back to. It does a little line up, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm ready. Go up, sit in. He's got a personality, obviously, and I am embodying human empathy onto it already. Googly eyes are coming next. So
Can
it docks
take
in
the
that.
stairs? That's the real question.
No, it can't do stairs. It sucks up the bin, the interior bin of the robot, into a bigger bin. So it goes docks and then sucks out so it can keep going. Because the Roombas themselves are quite... They're not going to have a big interior storage in it. So it means it can keep going. And it's training right now.
It's like one load of Mochi's shit in there.
Yeah, it might be able to suck that up.
Is that not a fear?
She doesn't shit indoors, so it's not a problem.
She doesn't do that indoors now. Okay, good.
Imagine coming up to you like, "Hello, master. I finished cleaning," and you look down,
covered in shit.
Like,
just
oh
turd
god,
covered. Yeah.
And it's just minced it.
Oh my god.
Master. It's so bad.
You go into the room and it's just splattered all across the walls. It's just
a
spread.
long strip where it's taken it around. Yeah.
But yeah, Roombas are cool. I like the way it just bumbles about, trying to figure out.
That happened to Duncan, apparently. It's caught on the front of Duncan's Roomba and just smeared his dog shit all over the floor.
Oh, no. Oh,
well, you should really toilet train your dog first. But, yeah, accidents happen.
Or at least, check for poos before you let the Roomba just start doing some casual maintenance.
I just love technology like that, where it's like harmless technology, but super smart.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's clearly using really interesting algorithms and stuff like that to map out. I can see on my phone, like, it's mapped out the different rooms, figured out where the cross points are. So it's like, oh yeah, the room stops here and the new one starts here. What do you want to call it? And then it's like, I'll avoid that area. That area is kind of soft, but that must be something you can pick up and move, whereas this is a hard surface. I've bumped up against it a few times, and that's not going to move, so that's a wall or something. It's pretty smart. It's pretty cool.
Is it like Alexa activated as well?
I don't think this model is.
Like, Alexa, tell Roomba to do this.
It's just on a schedule, so I don't really even need to do that.
Yeah.
And if I want it to clean at any point, I'll just go on. Huh?
You still got those fish?
Yeah, I still have fish. I'm keeping them alive. I feel guilty for not doing that. Just letting them die.
Oh, the fish in the pond, of course.
I've got fish in the pond.
Yeah.
It wasn't my choice to
have them. You could probably call like someone to take your fish away.
We're going to, but obviously because of lockdown, that's not really been a thing. So people can't really enter your property. Yeah. So, but yeah.
Or just buy a cement mixer, mix her up right next to the pond, and then just
pop it in. Don't need to mix it up. The water's already there. Just put the straight cement powder in it. Let it set.
Or you can just play get a little rod out and just start playing a little game out there.
Perfect.
Who can catch the most?
Have you tried koi carp? Dirty pond koi carp?
Ooh.
Delicious.
I'm pretty sure they got
koi carp and chips. Yummy.
Could be koi carp. I'm not going to flush them. One has died, but that's the only death so far.
They're
so
quite
that's pretty
chunky
good
as well. I feel like they get stuck in the tubes when they're big boys.
They probably would. Yeah. They would clog up my
Not
1940s
I got a wide tail out of the U-bend.
Fuck that.
You want wide bore plumbing for wide bore shits.
True. Yeah. You request that in your new property.
No taller than my head at all times. What I want. If I ever get my own plumbing done, it's just going to be. I want to be able to escape through my toilet. So I need like plumbing that's as wide as my shoulders, I guess. Like, here we go.
To know that your shits can be as wide as your head also means by proxy, you can actually fit your own head up your ass. Just so you know.
I don't want to brag.
I mean, Smith has done an illustration that does show that quite well. So yeah, I mean, it could happen. I feel like you do a lot of damage if you tried it. So maybe not.
Imagine what you'd be able to see though if you put a light up there.
It.
Wow, this is inside me.
I'm
the inside of Space Mountain.
Wow. It's like putting a light to your hand or something, see all the veins on the inside. You shine a light through your stomach. Just, wow.
What's that smell? Oh, what's that smell? You can't speak though because like you're so like up against the inside of your arm. Like, wow, it's amazing. Oh, wow.
Just get a throat mic. Just get a throat mic. Hello.
Oh.
I'm too far up for that. I'm shoulder deep.
Oh,
He's not got access to it.
I'm so far in.
There's a clean seal around his neck.
Oh, gross. Well, this leads us nicely on to the last.
News. You want to hear something?
Yeah, we've got a few minutes left.
Okay, I mean, I say funny news again. It's either funny news, tragic, it's weird, or this is a weird
gross.
story. This one, and it's about an alcoholic killer monkey. Now, unfortunately, this alcoholic killer monkey killed a man and injured 250 after going on a rampage.
250? What count?
Yeah. That's a lot of people to injure, and obviously it was quite hard to find most stories that don't involve COVID or whatever or other politics, etc. But this one stood out to me because it was just ridiculous. So the monkey was formerly the pet of an occultist who fed him hard liquor in India. But when his owner died, the booze-dependent imp went on the rampage.
Fucking hell.
He targeted women and girls in particular with his vicious fangs. But you will be glad to know that he has now been captured and will spend the rest of his
days behind bars, you can see.
So they haven't killed him at least, even though he caused someone to die. That's so fucked up.
Jesus.
And he went for children as well.
Alcohol. It's not the animal's fault, it's the people that look after it.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, what you don't give your pets alcohol? Sure. Oh, Monty likes the sauce, surely.
I put it in the bowl on occasion. Special treat.
Yeah.
Just to spice up a Friday night.
It's not a crutch, all right? It's just a reward.
Yeah, sure. Just keeps coming back for more.
Let's hope
loves vodka.
Let's hope the little monkey can get rehab.
Get out. Sure. I mean, I'm actually quite surprised they didn't. I'm surprised they didn't kill the monkey because sometimes in those situations they normally just put them down because, like, can you think of the trauma that monkey's probably been through as well?
That's the easy solution.
Just getting fucking off its tits all the fucking time. My God.
Yeah. At least they're trying.
Yeah, that's a very weird, tragic story, but attacked 250 people, so there you go.
Insane.
By that logic to people.
Watch out for the monkeys. The other one I've got here is man sues his date for $236,000 after a kiss led to a cold sore infection.
What?
So a man says he's been left traumatized after sharing a kiss with a woman he met online that he claims has left him with a virus for life.
Okay.
I mean, you can bring up the article. You can see the dude in question. He
British
seems
personal trainer.
like he might be very anal about certain things, but
Christ.
I mean, a cold sore is a cold sore. How bad is a cold sore? How bad are we saying that is?
Well, put it this way: I'd be really, really, really pissed off if I got one. It's a form of herpes that is incurable. So it's something that will flare up now and then, usually stress-based. You will have cold sores appear on your face, and you can catch it from another carrier, but once you have it, you can't get rid of it. So it's not ideal, okay. and also cold sores can be really uncomfortable. They can also be managed, but like, I mean, in an ideal world, you wouldn't want a cold sore, but this guy, I guess,
is that reasonable amount of money?
He should be entitled to monetary compensation.
Is that insurance? That seems like quite a high number there. 136K for a
What's
kiss.
the price for a lifetime of cold sores?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I would be interested to see whether or not this could be legally applied, because it might be, but who knows? I mean, the argument probably would be that they consented to the kiss, as in the guy did, consented to it, and therefore tacitly accepted risks of killing someone.
Yeah, he says here, okay, so I was upset, angry, and very confused. I wanted justice. And it was then I decided I want to take legal action against the respondent for the illness she brought upon me. He said it was a virus for life. I did not freely enter into the risks relating to the injury or any type of contagion. I was kissed, he claimed. So maybe that's the case. He was kissed, given an illness, technically, or a virus, and is suing someone. That seems like a kind of a fucked up date.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 2 days in a hospital in America is about the same cost, right? So
that's a very good point. Although this is the UK, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, people sue each other for anything in the States. You could stand on someone's foot and then suddenly be out of pocket thousands. Like, I don't think that culture is necessarily in the UK, but maybe it's happening now. Who knows?
I think it's less.
You guys for malpractice in various ways.
You bear in mind how many billboards you see on the side of a road in the US, like people advertising there, where there's a blame, there's a claim style things. You know, like remember like the billboards on the side of the road. Where like, so and so, I'm the best lawyer for you if you have an issue, and it's like we don't have those things here. So there must be something different going on there. Like maybe you can't like advertise things like. I mean, there's TV adverts for it, but we don't really do billboards. Not to the same scale.
Normally it's just like insurance, isn't it? Or like car accidents and shit. It's never normally just like, well, I guess have you fallen off a ladder?
Yeah.
In your workplace,
it's not your
secured
fault
properly. Sue your employer. Do it now.
You can fuck them and get money. And we'll take a cut. Thank you. What else have we got, Ross? Got a couple more minutes.
I actually I found another one. It's not that good though. That's the thing. It's about a guy who was involved in a machete attack, but he also had a machete tattoo on his face. It's not that good. It's just he has a machete on his face, and he was actually involved in a machete attack, which is ridiculous. So there you go. I mean, it's almost like it was written in stone that may happen.
Destiny.
Fabled.
But otherwise, no. It's just politics is fucked up. That's just a given. Apparently, a rough sex defense for accidentally killing someone. That's obviously now a law that's important. I'm guessing. A lot of people kind of blame like choking and stuff, and that's seems like an easy giveaway if it's like, well, it was sexual choking. But what if it was like, it's a very very controversial area.
This law is saying that
you can't just blame
you can't blame rough sex.
So basically, you can't blame rough sex, which has been tried. They tried to blame
that's
it in the
okay.
past,
That's good
for various cases. I'm sure there's not that many cases of that. I hope not, but
no, I can't imagine
they had to make a law for it.
Covering up a little plug hole though, which could be exploited.
Yeah, but otherwise, there's just shitloads of stories about horrible politicians doing horrible things, and we're all just smiling and watching it happen and voting for them again. So that's just the other side of things. But we don't need to go too far into that. So there we go.
Yeah,
that's pretty much all I've got today.
Don't be lazy. Just vote. Doesn't matter who. If you just do a little bit of research, you're doing more than the average. So come on,
we got to wait till 2024. So
we got to wait for ages.
Ride this horrible roller coaster out until we've got no money left, and because they pump in 100 billion yesterday. Our bank just pumped in an extra 100 billion.
The UK debt is now the second highest it's been since World War II.
It's nice to break records, Fantastic. Though. At least.
Yeah, it is. It's good to be the top of.
He's a record-breaking prime minister.
We're going to be talked about.
Yeah.
Hopefully, what it'll do.
There's no second wave because that might completely ruin us.
The thing is, if we we're over 100% of our GDP in terms of our borrowing. So we borrow. The government has borrowed more money from our economy than we're producing. But the thing is, as well, like what was kind of interesting is all the stuff they did, all the social like welfare stuff, like paying people's wages and all that sort of stuff, is remarkably socialist. But the thing is, doing those things like free healthcare, free education, all those kind of great things cost money, and you have to tax for it, right? Yet this is also the party of low taxation, so they might end up having to. So they applied these new rules, these spending and stuff that they did, and now they're going to go, oh shit, we might actually have to tax people. Wait, but all the poor people don't have any money left. Oh, maybe we should tax the rich. No.
Might be time. Might be time.
Crazy.
They may have to literally pull that one out somewhere.
The Robin Hood tax? No.
But it'd be amazing if they managed to force themselves into being more socialist because of like. I mean, it'd be interesting.
We'll see. They'll find every reason not to first.
2 years.
Yeah.
I feel like we'll just be paying for it through the
Well,
nose,
we'll just go back to austerity, and they'll just gut all of our social services again.
We've just looked into the stats, and we found out that not enough old people died during COVID, so we're going to need to kill a few more.
It didn't work. We worked with the Chinese to do this. It didn't work.
We're going to create a new Chinese virus. Yeah.
I've got to make a new one.
Like apparently Australia was cyber attacked or something like yesterday.
Yeah, state cyber attack. Yeah,
I don't know the full details of it. They're claiming that it was another country getting involved, but Jesus,
we're living in the
all
future,
sorts of
guys.
shit going on.
Is this what you expect in 2020 when you're a kid?
2020.
I expect to be in a flying car by now.
They've delayed Cyberpunk because they're having to update some of their storylines because it's out of date already because of the shit going on.
They're like, God,
this is
these
not
storylines weren't outlandish enough.
Yeah, it's not futuristic enough. Anyway, thanks for listening today. If you do enjoy what we do as much as our fellow Patreons, then you can head to patreon.com/hatfilms and become one yourself. Thank you very much for the support there. That allows us to keep doing Hat Chat. Whilst we do not have any sponsorships, you are entirely holding us up, so thank you for that. Also, if you are musically inclined and you do some beats, please send them to hatchat@hat-films.com so that you can be featured at the start of the next Hat Chat. And we like your fingals. We like Daryl's.
Yeah,
thanks, Daryl's, for your little jingle. We got the full one playing out in a minute. So, yeah, thanks for listening. We'll be back in another couple of weeks. Hope you all stay safe.
Indeed.
Wash your asshole as well as your hands. Equally as safe.
Yeah. And let's roll the dice and see what happens in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. Fun times ahead. Bye, everybody.
Ta-ra!